Samuel Bresnick, even as American politics gets more and more fractured, this CCP meeting showing whatever divisions there are buried so far deep that on the outside all you see is Xi Jinping reaffirming his position over leadership of the Communist Party, over the army, over the Chinese administrative structure. How do you think the Biden administration in DC is likely to react to Xi emerging as strong as he does, given the questions that Kishore Mehbubani raises about America thinking of China as a competitor but now not fully certain of how to deal with its growing power?
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thanks for the question. You know, to begin, I think for America and the world, what we're going to see from China going forward is a continuation of Beijing's more confident and aggressive foreign policy under Xi. Before Xi came to power, China preferred a hide and bide approach, to keep a low profile in foreign policy while it built up its strength. Xi has inaugurated a much more muscular foreign policy, crushing protests in Hong Kong, skirmishing with India in the Himalayas, and rolling out the BRI and economic statecraft. So I think the Biden administration really sees Xi as going to be continuing his more muscular foreign policy approach. And in answer to Mr. Mahbubani's suggestion that America doesn't have a long-term strategy to deal with China, I think he's largely correct, although I think this new raft of export controls that the Biden administration rolled out last week actually constitutes a new goal and strategy for the administration, which is to constrain China's technological development. Before that, you know, I totally agree. The United States can't kneecap China economically, can't derail its political system, but what it can do and what it is trying to do now is to make sure the semiconductors that power China's development of AI, of quantum computers, of targeted missiles and other weapon systems are degraded. This is a shift from trying to run faster than China in technology to really trying to limit China's technological development, which is, I think, the biggest takeaway from the United States strategy so far during the Biden administration.
Shikha Agarwal, you studied the internal politics of China. Is there anything that you picked up from that big Communist Party meeting which was different from what you were expecting or observing from the outside, or is it really just proof of how well entrenched, now deeply entrenched, Xi Jinping is on all the power structures of China?
Rahul, yes. I mean, obviously, the most obvious outcome for all of us was Xi Jinping entrenching himself even further within the system. But having said that, yes, to me, one of the one of the things that I was intrigued by was the absence of Jiang Zemin and Chu Rongji from the meeting, from the Congress, that is. So that was something that I would like to, you know, further going on, I would like to look at as to why these two men were not present in the at the conference. More importantly, going further, I think, yes, if I can just go a little bit into China's internal political dynamics. Yes, I mean, Xi Jinping is going to entrench himself at all levels of power. That is a given. But that is the overt part of the Chinese domestic politics. But if we, you know, really minutely observe this politics, we'll see another trend emerging slowly. It's an underway trend that we really need to focus upon. And that is the rise of the proteges of Xi Jinping's proteges. And this is something that we really need to study going further. Because it is not just going to have ramifications for China's internal politics, but also the foreign policy as well. And how this happens is that, you know, Xi Jinping, who controls everything at Zhongnanhai. So yes, he has everybody in Politburo are his men, everybody in the Politburo is sending committee at are his people. But, you know, sitting at Zhongnanhai, he cannot possibly be controlling each and every appointment that is being made at the provincial levels or, you know, even at the central administrative levels. So if we just start looking, that then we see that, you know, a lot of these people, emerging people in Chinese domestic politics, are actually not directly related with Xi Jinping, but rather they are related or are the acolytes of his proteges. Now, you can always say that, you know, the loyal people who are loyal to him, and they are going to be only foster people who are loyal to him only. But at the same time, we understand that this kind of an equation, or doesn't really work in politics, that loyalty is going to be loyalty and loyalty. This kind of a series does not really happen in politics. Politics is equally about opportunism and ambitions, and Xi Jinping actually is an emblem of this kind of politics, because all said and done, he was actually a protege of Jiang Zemin, but look how he has turned the tables on Jiang Zemin. So this is one of the trends underway which we clearly need to watch out.